realize strict parents create the best liars. My parents weren't like abusive or anything, but they were super overprotective. I'm talking Life 360 tracking my every move, supervised dates only, and absolutely no being alone with boys ever. Literally medieval torture for a teenage girl. The final straw came after this huge fight about my boyfriend Jack. We'd been dating for 4 months, and my parents still made us sit in the living room with him whenever he came over. They wouldn't even let us go to the movies without my mom sitting 3 rows behind us. I'd asked if Jack could take me to homecoming, and they said yes, but only if my dad drove us there and picked us up. No after party, no dinner, nothing. I was texting with my best friend Madison at school about how unfair it was, and she was like, just tell them you're sleeping over at my place Saturday. My parents are going out of town. Her older sister was supposed to watch her, but she was super cool about everything, so I decided to do it. The phone tracking was the biggest obstacle. My parents checked that app like their lives depended on it. But if I left my phone at Madison's, they'd see exactly what they expected to see. Me at a sleepover, safe and sound, while I was actually at the party Jack had been talking about for weeks. I spent days perfecting my cover story, packed my bag with all the right props like homework and comfy clothes. Underneath it all was the outfit I'd been hiding in my gym locker. Nothing fancy, just a black dress that made me feel pretty. Saturday came and my mom dropped me off at Madison's at 6 p.m. She actually walked me to the door and talked to Madison for like 5 minutes about our study plans. I wanted to die from embarrassment. Madison played it so cool though, showing my mom the snacks she'd prepared and everything. The second my mom's car turned the corner, I changed into my dress. Madison did my makeup way better than I could ever do it myself. She let me borrow these heels that made me look way older. I felt amazing. I left my phone on Madison's bed, making sure the volume was up so she could answer if my parents called. Jack picked me up at 7:30 and I felt so free. No parents watching us, no tracking app, just me and my boyfriend going to an actual party like normal teenagers. The party was at this guy Brandon's house. His parents were away for the weekend and the place was packed. Jack introduced me to his friends from his old school and everyone was super nice. There was music blasting and people dancing and I finally felt like I was having a real high school experience. In the kitchen, red cups lined the counter. Jack handed me one filled with this pink punch that smelled like strawberries and something else I couldn't identify. It went down easy, too easy, masking whatever else was mixed in. I finished it faster than I should have, nerves making me thirsty. 20 minutes later, the edges of the room started to blur. My body felt heavy but also disconnected, like I was floating above myself. When I tried to tell Jack something was wrong, the words came out slurred and strange. He noticed immediately, his face shifting from happy to terrified. The bathroom seemed miles away even though he practically carried me there. My legs had stopped cooperating entirely. Some girl burst in, took one look at me and started yelling about calling for help. Everything after that came in fragments. Jack lifted me outside where the air hit like ice water. Voices argued about hospitals and parents. Someone mentioned Brandon's older brother had dumped something extra in the punch as entertainment. My body wasn't mine anymore, consciousness flickering like a dying light bulb. Jack was panicking, trying to figure out what to do. He couldn't take me to the hospital because they'd call my parents. This girl who claimed she was studying medicine took charge. She made the call I was too scared to make, staying calm while explaining symptoms to the dispatcher. Jack held on to me like I might disappear, whispering apologies I could barely process. The paramedics arrived and immediately started asking questions. What did I drink? How much? What time? All stuff I could barely answer. They loaded me into the ambulance and Jack tried to come with me but they wouldn't let him. At the hospital, they pumped my stomach and gave me fluids. A nurse had to call my parents since I was a minor. I'll never forget hearing my mom's voice in the hallway, half screaming, half crying. When she burst into the room, I expected pure anger. Instead, she grabbed me and just held me, sobbing. My dad stood in the doorway, his face completely white. They'd been calling Madison's house for an hour after finding out from Life 360 that my phone hadn't moved all night. Madison finally cracked and told them everything. The doctor said I was lucky. Whatever was in that punch could have been fatal if I'd had more. The police got involved and Brandon's brother got arrested. 3 other kids from the party ended up in the hospital too. I was alone a month later when I got the call. It was the hospital. The doctor asked if I was sexually active. I told the truth and said no. He was quiet for so long I thought he hung up. We think you might be pregnant. My heart dropped. Full story on channel, link below.